but we expect to be cutting a lot out of Dodd-Frank because, frankly, I have so many people, friends of mine, that have nice businesses. They can't borrow money. They just can't get any money because the banks just won't let them borrow because of the rules and regulations in Dodd-Frank.
Donald Trump on Friday gave his friends on Wall Street a big fat gift, and it's not even their birthday. He signed an executive order that lays the groundwork to eliminate some of the safeguards the Dodd-Frank bill placed on Wall Street following the 2008 economic meltdown. Safeguards that were designed to prevent another catastrophe. He also moved to block the so-called fiduciary rule, which would require retirement investment advisors to work in the best interest of their clients rather than to maximize their own fees. The administration has called that rule, quote, a complete mess. Joining me now is David Cay Johnston, Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist and author of The Making of Donald Trump. So, David, Donald Trump promised to drain the swamp. Apparently, he's going to drain it into the bank accounts of every single Wall Street banker because he has now eliminated the rule that says that investment managers who manage your grandma's retirement account have to act in grandma's best interest. Now they can just rake in the fees and cheat her, essentially. Isn't that what he just did?
Well, he's taken the first step to doing exactly that. This is known as a fiduciary rule, and let me explain that big word. It means that whoever is managing your retirement money has to put your interests first, not theirs. It's designed to stop these many, many cases we've had where the broker drains all your money through high fees on investments that are not suitable, and the broker gets rich and you end up with nothing. And Donald Trump's argument in his memorandum to the Labor Department saying, I want you to go this direction, is that I don't want to take away your freedom of choice. So what Donald Trump, a man who has often cheated his workers and vendors and investors, is saying is, you really should live in a world where other people are free to cheat you out of your hard-earned money. That's what I want. Your freedom of choice to be cheated.
And you know, it's sort of a piece with the same idea that they want you to be free to buy a junk health care plan that doesn't actually cover you when you're sick. But that's your freedom to go ahead and choose a junk health care plan. So it is definitely in keeping with his and Paul Ryan's philosophy. But on this issue of the banks, Donald Trump, and it's sort of rich given all his debt and whether or not he's paid back the banks that he's loaned from, he said that his friends can't borrow money. So he sort of indicated that part of the reason that he's doing these policies is to help his friends. Have you ever heard an American president say that particular thing?
No, but let me tell you why I don't believe that Donald Trump is operating from any set of facts. It's not because of his past tales with imaginary employees and imaginary lovers. It's that I just looked up the official data on commercial bank loans since 2010. And what does it show? Going this way, right through the roof. Loans are spreading like crazy. And so if his friends are not able to borrow money, maybe it's because, like Donald, they have publicly announced to their bankers, this is a quote from Donald, I borrowed money from banks knowing I wouldn't have to pay it back. Go down and try that at your local bank, Joy.
Yeah, and I mean, the other issue that we seem to have gotten away from, but I don't think we should let it go, is that we still don't know to whom Donald Trump is in debt, how much debt he's in. Right. So we don't know to what extent he's making policy through these executive orders that directly impacts himself, his family, his kids, and his company.
Well, we do know a few things, but we certainly don't have a full picture. We know that basically American banks will not loan money to Donald unless it's incredibly well secured, the equivalent of having a 10% mortgage on your house and 90% is your equity. We know that he is deeply in debt to the Communist Chinese government in Beijing, which owns the banks there. And we know that he's gotten tens of millions, in fact, hundreds of millions of dollars from the Russian oligarchs whose fortunes all depend on the continued good graces of Vladimir Putin. And by the way, this rule that he's talking about, the Dodd-Frank rule, has nothing to do with loaning money. It has to do with financial derivatives and other instruments in which the banks on Wall Street want to take your money and risk it in derivatives and other financial instruments, not traditional banking. That's what the rules are focused on. So his argument that banks can't make loans, Dodd-Frank doesn't have anything that prevents you from making loans like that. And if there are bankers who think otherwise, I invite them to email me. My email's on the internet at davidkjohnston.com and show me where that's the case. I don't think they can make that case.
Let's quickly play, just to remind folks, what Donald Trump had to say about the Wall Street banks that that are now his pals and friends back on the campaign trail.
Wall Street is backing Hillary. Guys that I know very well from New York, they're pouring money into her campaign. They're doing it for a reason. I'm not going to let Wall Street get away with murder. Wall Street has caused tremendous problems for us. We're going to tax Wall Street. I sat there watching ad after ad after ad, false ad, all paid for by your friends on Wall Street that gave so much money because they know you're going to protect them.
At one point, David K. Johnson, will Donald Trump supporters realize that all of that rhetoric, all that you just heard, that they were had?
Well, one hopes that at some point people realize that, yeah, we've put in office what is now the most successful con artist in the history of the world. He's conned his way into the White House by claiming to be the champion of working people. Now, many of the people who voted for him and believed he'd be their economic savior weren't listening when he said wages are too high. They weren't listening when he now is saying, I want Wall Street to be free to cheat you out of all of your money with no serious repercussions because of something called the arbitration system.